Okay, this is session one of Eberron Out of Time. All of you have been recruited by the Shepherds of Time to join a team that will, at some point, be potentially sent to the past to try to stop the cataclysm that led to the destruction of Corvair and most of Eberron. Why don't we start with everybody introducing your characters and describing yourselves again? We could start with Tosh.
All right. So I am playing Ashvanan, Te Ashvanan. Uh, and so Te Ashvanan is a warg with bluish fur with patches of white, um, and very piercing blue eyes. She is um, quite large. She's about 4 feet at the shoulder and about 7 feet long. Um, and yeah, she is a ranger. Oh, I don't know what else. We're still working. So, uh, yeah, that's how I'll start.
De Galandra is he is a simple man. He is of the house Galandra. He is a halfling, like all members of the house. He is a bit of an older fellow. He is an 89, about 3 foot to 40 pounds, with light gray eyes. He has a humble background, but found his way into the house after serving with them, and then finding out that he was gifted with a dragon mark by those who bestow dragon marks, who is yet unknown. But one occurred, and since then he has been a faithful member of the house, overseeing their affairs and making sure that House Galandra secures its position in Shosarn, and the what is left of civilization in Eberron. That's Alzen.
I am playing a human bard named Bop, and she is a very old, eccentric, gypsy-like woman that loves to tell stories. And
Are they all stories
yeah,
that pertain to a mysterious trio of boys named the Hanson brothers?
who knows? Who knows what will come up?
Those are our
Um,
grandkids.
but during my creation, I want her to loosely base her off of Sophia from Golden Girls. So she's just this short, old woman that's just telling stories, and she falls asleep at the most inconvenient times.
Perfect.
All right.
Hi, you want to say hi?
So, Peter, does your character go by Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
Say hi.
I'll have to change your token at some point then.
Lee.
Yes, Lee Aarakocra. He is obviously an Aarakocra. Uh, silver bracers, kind of gray, white feathers. Um, probably. What else? Does have a good set of clothes that he probably wears occasionally. Um, silver bracers. Think of anything. We'll save the rest for later.
I mean,
But he
so
does not use his avian name.
has Lee been working with Elzin or Paelius in the past?
Yes, yes. And when he has showed up, well, if it was with Elzen, well, Lee always shows up late to whatever's going on. So, and it was always like a last minute change. He would show up and he would know, and he's also dealt with some of what Paelius's crew does, probably in exchange for bottles of wine or something to do a job that he can sell to make money to do other things.
When Lee shows up late, is he sober?
Yes, of course. Oh, of course he does his job.
Pyalius, he would maybe be sober. You could never tell.
He's a functional alcoholic.
He's just very good at what he does. And don't worry about what he does. He does the things that he does. All right.
Right.
And if you're a good friend, you won't ask questions.
So, like, would people know that Elzen is a warlock? What would they think he is the source of his power?
I would say it's more of a recent development
Hmm.
than it is like something that he's been for a while. So probably within like the past 6 months. So depending on how much contact we've had in the past 6 months would probably dictate how much people would be aware of that.
I mean, at this point, I assume all of the players are all the PCs know each other reasonably well because you're all part of this one team.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily know. Like, obviously, because Lee was there to kind of oversee things. You've probably seen Lee in some sort of combat scenario. Lee and Pyelius probably have. You've seen them fight to some extent, but I don't know if they would have seen you fight. Like the a dragon marked scion of a dragon marked house. You probably would be ushered away if there was a major conflict. That would be the first inclination people would have. So you might not have been seen in the front lines quite as much as
Yeah,
they would be.
Alzen would definitely not try to fight unless he absolutely had to.
I do think that that might be an interesting tie-in because I imagine Teashmanan's powers manifested relatively recently as well. Although I do imagine that she has been working, um, in the like protecting Elzen and in the fields from time to time, especially when Lee was not able to. Um, but they're usually, I imagine that House Vidalis, not House Vidalis, House Tharashk, um, is keeps a close eye on Teashvanan since wargs are fairly rare within Shosharn and can't be disturbing all the peoples.
So what would they know about how Teosh Vanon appeared?
Um, it appeared.
I mean, how about how the wargs got to Sharn?
Okay. Um, I don't know if Hayash Vanan would know how wargs got the Shosharn. I imagine in my head canon that it was an act of the shepherds to bring wargs to Shosharn. Um, and so that allowed for a small population to have been here relatively since the start of that new timeline.
See, I had a different thought in mind. I thought that the wargs and certain other creatures from Drome were essentially discovered in Sharn, like sealed off
Mhm.
in Sharn, trapped in stone. And they were released from their petrification and, allowed to essentially form their own community
Hmm.
of Dromites. So that's where like the seed population of wargs in Shosharn came from. Uh, Not necessarily that the shepherds brought them on. Nobody's exactly sure how you got petrified in the first place.
Okay. So I would say that in that case, it's probably discouraged to talk about, um, just because I imagine knowing that there's a Dromite population within Shosharn. I mean, I don't know, Kurt, what are the like attitudes of people regarding um their presence?
So, right. So people would be a little wary of the creatures from Drome just because they're unusual. They're also a fairly small population, so they probably do tend to keep to themselves. That said, not that many people alive in this time period really remember Droam all that well. There are certainly like elves and other long-lived races that do, but the average person really doesn't. They would just know that you're sort of part of an insular community and you obviously look sort of impressively dangerous
Hmm.
because you're fairly large for a wolf and you
Yeah.
talk.
Um, so
And people
in
would generally associate you with House Tharash loosely, but you're not like insiders in House Tharash. You're just
right.
you're essentially, I don't know, you're almost like higher legs of House Tharash.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense. So they're probably organizing the labor for us and letting us know where our services are best utilized. Um, so the unique thing about Teash Vanan is that um, she has the ability to teleport. It's just, mechanically it's just cosmetic, but she seems to be able to teleport to and from um, at will, uh, which she refers to as bouncing, uh, because as she describes it, it is like floating and uh, moving within the clouds as she passes through whatever space it is, as momentarily one from one point to another.
And they would have seen Lee fighting too, so I don't know if you want to describe how Lee fights.
Uh, yeah, you would have seen he has these silver bracers, and then you would have seen a shield appear, and he would fly in and start bashing people with his shield and using his talons. That's pretty much what he would do in a fight.
The shield is the weapon, like Captain America style.
Kinda, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, one of the challenges is definitely going to be you're like a super mobile party.
Yeah. Paelius is not very big, but he's nimble. He's just a little guy. He's like 5 foot, 90 pounds, super dark skin, but completely white hair that's just like, always slicked back. And then yeah, not making like a huge thumps on the battlefield, but whenever that knife sticks in, it's gonna hurt.
Whereas like I know Teosh Vanon's base speed is 40, and he's a ranger, so that'll increase over time slowly. But Lee's base speed is 50 if he's flying. And using this just came up, but apparently Mike's Barbarian has like a bonus action move up to half your speed thing. So that means he can move like 75 in a round.
Wow. Elzen and Mbach will be bringing up the rear at our great 25 movement speed. We'll make it eventually, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, Bob is still human, so 30
Oh,
feet.
wow. Well, what's the saying about surviving a bear attack?
Yeah.
I know it won't be me in the back.
I like to think Elzin will do like the fake jog in the back where he's like, I'm coming, but he's still just walking 25 feet.
We halflings are natural sprinters.
So anyway, you have all been called to the enclave of the Shepherds of Time by the Shepherd Hermas, who has a mission for you. I don't know to what extent the people here, Mike probably knows the geography of Sharn better than anyone else, but the Shepherds of Time have essentially set themselves up in what used to be Moorgrave University, or at least a portion of it. So that is pretty high up in the old upper city, on its own plateau with a few other storied buildings. So you have to sort of make your way over to there. But once you arrive, you can see that the various members of the Shepherds of Time are going about their business, conducting their own experiments. There are crystals hanging or floating in the air, all of which seem to show different time periods, at least dim reflections of different time periods, as wizards gather around them, chanting and concentrating on spells, trying to focus their attention on particular periods of time in the past. Hermas, however, lifts his hand so that you could see it, as he's quite short, even for a gnome. He is only about 3 feet tall, and waves you over to him. Standing next to him is a fairly young-looking elf woman who you would only be vaguely familiar with. You know, she's a novice in the Shepherds of Time. Um, some, well positioned and smart, but not someone you've had a great deal of experience with, and probably fairly new to the organization. I have a little bit of a mission for you, and Teosh, it might be of a special interest to you. It seems
Oh,
as though it seems as though there's been a change in the timeline, one that we did not direct. And so now we need to figure out exactly what has happened. The only time that it has happened before is when we found your people, Teosh.
Jesus. You are suggesting that others can change time?
We don't know, but we weren't an organization that monitored time when your people first appeared. Now that we can do that, however, we detected a very distinct shift in the Grey Walls district in the middle levels of the city. One of the levels that is probably going to be swallowed by the bite next. We need you to go down and investigate. It looks, from what we've seen, like piles of records have appeared in an old temple, in which case we would want to secure those records and bring them back here for study.
Are you saying that there was you discovered this shift in time because records appeared out of nowhere?
We discovered the shift in time first, then we focused our divination on this old broken down Church of the Silver Flame down there. We could see that there are papers that have appeared everywhere. They appear to be out of their normal time frame.
Church of the Silver Flame. Ah, such works.
Well, it is currently abandoned by the Silver Flame, at least for the moment. They do have a presence in the Grey Walls area, and there are various human and dwarf residents who are squatting in the building at present. They have begun to disturb the records, though, and it appears as though there may be an underlevel to this church. We don't know whether or not there might not be more records down there.
What
This
did I
whole
miss?
area. He stares at Lee, who flies in
Boombop,
late.
you're snoring again.
Perhaps they can fill you in on the way, but I need you to
Yeah.
go to the
Are we
gray
getting paid up
walls.
front or after we get done?
I was hearing the description first. We'll get there.
Okay. All right, good. Continue. As you were.
We will send you with a contingent of apprentices to help organize whatever's there and bring it up. However, the whole Grey Walls district is probably going to be inundated with the bite in the next few months, so we don't have very much time to collect everything. We don't know how extensive this collection of archives might be, but we believe that if we send you with 8 or 10 sturdy backs, you should be able to bring it out with you. Obviously, we don't want you to cause any harm to the squatters there. They're probably all aware that they'll have to move soon enough anyway. And so far as we can tell, there's no valuable artifacts. It seems to all just be paperwork and information. About what, we can't say yet. There may be something of value in the church, I suppose, so they may be a little bit reluctant to let you have access to it. Anything someone can scavenge will be a potential meal for them, so something that they will definitely want to hold on to if they can. Just try to be respectful. Try to convince them that we just want the paperwork.
That should be easy enough.
Can I incite him to see if maybe I can discern whether or not there is more information that he knows and is not telling us?
You can always do an insight check.
Here we go. First roll of the game. Don't
Dun,
fuck
dun,
it up.
dun.
Oh my God.
Fucked it
Action
up.
point. Action point. First roll of the game. We're action pointing. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Come on, be better than that roll.
Slightly. Not materially.
It doesn't
Eh.
seem to you like he's withholding information.
Indeed. Seems upfront.
You know,
Speaking of upfront, payment?
Yeah, what he said.
We provide you with whatever resources you might need ordinarily. You're in a better position than most in Shosharn. We will continue that.
So you are sending 10 interns with us.
Elatal will be in charge of the apprentices, but you will be in charge of clearing the path.
Very good.
How heavy are these dusty books? You need 10 people?
There will be, from what we have seen, at least several chests worth of things to move, and we don't know what might be in the lower levels. I would imagine you're not going to bring it all back in one single trip.
Not with that attitude. With a few more apprentices, we might be able to.
And we don't have unlimited apprentices to send with you.
There's a pity.
Here, I thought this was an important mission.
Well, we don't know
It
what's
is
in
an
the
important
archive.
mission. All missions are important. It is our mood and aha. It is our duty to do this so that our communities can continue to flourish.
I would love to flourish. You're right. Let's do this. Payment?
And it is very likely that the archives will contain some information about the past that may lead to further insight into what caused the bite. At least when we move archives in, that is usually the sorts of paperwork we're looking for. Research materials that will help us identify the cause. We don't have any record of this having been scheduled to come in, and we don't know why it's here. But we suspect it is otherwise the same sort of archival information we normally collect. It just for some reason has been deposited in the wrong place at a time that we were not expecting.
Hmm. Well, show us on the map.
How far is
Uh,
this? How far is the Grey Wall district?
so Graywall is, I mean, physically it's down quite a ways from where you are. It's probably several hundred feet down. But it's actually kind of like it's so I don't know what you know about the geography of Shard, but there's an outer sort of ring that covers the cliffside that faces the ocean. Grey Walls was, and there used to be a place called Tavik's Landing, which was like a merchant district in the middle city. Grey Walls is a residential section next to Tavik's Landing. So it's on the cliffside so that you could, if you got to the outer edge of it, you could see the ocean in the old days before the bite covered everything. But it is on the outer ring of the city, and you are essentially in a middle tower at the moment. So
Okay.
you will have to sort of cross over. But there are various ways to do that.
How far down? Because we're in the upper ring or the
Right.
upper
So
area.
it is about 400 feet lower than where you are now.
How tall is like for where we are to the sea level?
Um, you would never have seen the sea, so you don't really know. You would gather that it was, at least another 400 or 500 feet lower. But
Okay.
then there was like a lower city underneath the city in
Yeah.
addition to the sea level. But you would also know that if it's 400 feet down, that is right just barely at the level where the bite has begun to creep up. So if you descended any lower than that, you'd be in the bite.
Gotcha. That's right. That's right. Well, it seems we have our marching orders. It is time.
Elotel, Elotel will go and gather the apprentices.
Yes.
He looks at Elotel and do any of you speak Elvish?
Yeah, I sure do.
Right. So he tells her to collect one of the stair generators, and you would vaguely be aware that that is essentially just a wand that can create a path between towers
Mm, got it.
so that you don't actually have to sort of do a whole wide circuit around the city to get to the cliffside area and then over to Grey Walls.
Oh, we're getting a shortcut. Who was the one that was going to be looking over the apprentices?
That's the novice shepherd Elatal and a high elf. I can show you.
Okay, got it.
Let's see. That's him, and then
Fancy coat.
at least that's the picture of her. I don't know why there's this kobold thing.
It's three kobolds in a coat.
Yep, that's what she is.
Three kobold sorcerers in a coat.
Yep. I must
Speaking
have.
of,
That must be it. I must have just pulled a random kobold sorcerer and copied it over and not deleted the text.
I kind of want that that cloak. I'm gonna ask her where she got it.
So yeah, blue and gold tends to be like the colors of the shepherds. So most of them, although hers is particularly fancy, which suggests that she's fairly high born, Uh, Most people seem to have sort of similar themes of like clocks and sheep on gold embroidered blue cloaks. You have not been furnished with such fancy cloaks, however.
No,
You've
that's
been
why
given
I
300 gold pieces worth of equipment that you get to pick out, and your two feather tokens in case you should fall off of a tower.
right. That's fine. I can cast levitate on myself.
I do love the idea that we have these Featherfall tokens just so that we can contemplate that much more before we eventually descend into the bite.
Right. Well, I mean, if you were to fall off a tower at this level, you would still probably land on a walkway before you descended into the bite. So the Featherfall token might save you. When you're down at the Grey Walls level, which is like the middle city, down, so there's not supposed to be anybody living down there because everybody is aware that the bite slowly creeps up year after year. And that far down, basically that's probably going to be swamped in the next, anything from a few months to a couple of years. It'll become unlivable in that particular section of the tower. But the very, very poorest people who can't seem to find work anywhere else do tend to get pushed down to these lower levels where they survive in a sort of black market existence, where House Galandra does help them out to the extent it can, but there's limited resources, and these are people who, for whatever reason, aren't able to find a place in the regular economy of Shosharn. So it is sort of the down and out and down on their luck, many of whom, have severe injuries or other reasons why they're not able to work the way other people are. Some of whom just make their living preying on others and so find it convenient to have a place to hide amongst the people who are otherwise completely shunned from the society. So these are probably going to be the squatters that you're going to run into, a mixture of people who are completely hopeless and down on their luck, and then some people who are just taking advantage. But the whole area is, it's probably not just people in this church. It's probably there are definitely people living throughout that whole area of the middle city. They just tend to be people who are kind of forgotten by the society. So Elotau goes and collects the apprentices. Another thing you should know is because this whole area is going to be swamped, there is a little bit of an official push to try to search whatever's down there to find anything of value and bring it out, including things like these archived papers, just because once it's overtaken by the bite, it will be that much harder to get it out later. The bite is not necessarily immediately fatal. Like you could walk in it, it's not going to choke you, uh, but things live in the bite and you can't see them that well. And it seems like they know you're there when you're in the bite. So it's a little bit like Stephen King's The Mist, where who knows what's going to come to feed on you if you're standing in the bite too long. So Elatel goes and collects a number of apprentices. It's not quite 10, it's probably about 8 of them. You've never seen these people before, but she then pulls out a wand that's, roughly the about 3 feet long. So perhaps rod is better term than wand. And she bangs it into the ground and begins to speak in Elvish, forming a walkway of force between the edge of the tower on which Moorgrave University sits down into the cliffside region, down to where Greywall is, and leads you down there.
Ah, it is the shortcut,
Yep.
It is the shortcut.
traveling in style.
Well,
Which one of you apprentices is going to carry my stuff? And he just kind of like eyes eyes them.
I
Why
mean,
would you not carry it yourself?
I mean, I can, but I figured that we have people who are helping us.
Are you unable to carry your things? Your things?
I am quite capable.
Then you should do it.
But what if we become so heavy? Will you carry us?
If I must, I. But it is not necessary right now.
You're right. It is not necessary right now.
roll 20 is acting up for some reason for me, and I'm not sure what it's doing.
Very shenaniganery.
Shenanigans.
Yep.
Oh, I see it.
See
It's all the
something?
way at the bottom corner.
Vaguely see.
Yeah, I mean, I can see all you guys. So you guys are all down here. Here we go.
This is neat where the tokens are faded. I haven't seen this effect before.
I'm not sure why I bet you I know why. I can't see anything on my map.
I don't know what I'm doing by doing this, but
Oh,
it seems like
so
it's spreading.
I think the tokens are probably faded because it's all low light down here. You're inside a tower and fairly deep down. There's not a lot of light in this particular inside the tower.
I have
What was that?
120 feet.
What?
This
Oh,
spell effects.
Yeah, there's spell effects. It must be a new and the jump gate or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
that
distracting.
was a big fart.
So I didn't put Elatow down.
Pure darkness over here.
So I don't know whether or not any of you have torches or want to light them or not.
There's nobody around.
No fingies.
Right. I mean, you definitely, there are definitely like people around. You notice there are a disproportionate number of, or at least an unusually high number of Warforged because you've seen 3 or 4 walking around this section of the towers. And Warforged are otherwise relatively rare. But you mostly see humans and dwarves.
How obvious is it whenever we like come down where we how we did?
What do you mean? How obvious is it?
Like were we seen coming down?
Undoubtedly, some people saw you, but it's so like the towers are what you would sort of expect. There's an outer walkway that surrounds the towers. So anybody who was on the walkway or at a viewing platform would have seen you coming down if they looked up. But most of the people are inside the tower. Hold on a second.
Got it.
So the people who are inside the tower obviously wouldn't have seen anything.
Right.
So most of the people you're about to encounter would have no idea you just wandered down on a magical platform of force. So Elatel points out that you're basically you have to go in this direction to the well, at least on this map, it would be to the northeast to get to the temple that you're going to. You can also hear there is quite a commotion up ahead.
see some people and such off in the distance.
Right.
I probably see further than anybody else can.
Yes, you definitely can see further than other people.
Um, what is there anything that Teash Manan can hear with her keen senses about this argument going on
Uh,
from where we are?
yeah, give me a perception check with advantage.
I don't know. I
So,
added two. For some reason, it's got bless on. Let me take that off.
so you can definitely hear a mixture of human voices, dwarf voices, and what you believe to be goblin voices.
Uh, d are they speaking in Goblin? Because I can understand Goblin.
No, they're speaking in common, but
Okay.
you're still too far away to understand what they're saying.
Okay.
So we start moving this way. I think I see a couple of goblins.
It is best that we go see what it is there, what is going on. Apprentices.
Is it? Is this the where the our location is, or do we have to go
We
around
we
somehow?
should we should just go directly to the temple. We do not have time to worry about these
Alatel is
arguments.
the temple in this direction.
Yes, this is the direction, northeast. In fact, as soon as you round the corner and get close enough, for those of you with dark vision, I guess,
Uh,
some of you don't have dark vision and so can't really see anything down here. But for those of you with dark vision, you eventually do begin to make out the church sitting in front of you. That probably was once very nice, but is completely run down now. It still does have the emblem of the silver flame on the front of it, however.
Ah, a house of hope that has long left it.
Hope. These people killed others like me for nothing but fear. It is good to have become as decrepit as it is.
While they're while they have done terrible things, some people who did not do terrible things looked to it and saw comfort.
So
And those are the people where it's sad that hope is lost.
it does not matter if a symbol is comfortable or gives hope to some, if for others it means death.
It's
It is a symbol of ignorance.
well, are we going to help or not? Are we going around?
Um,
The question is, are they in our way?
They do appear to be between you and the temple.
Can I
how
see is it being protected? What's going on right now?
So you can see there is a group of, so there's a lot of humans and dwarves that are milling about, some of whom seem to be taking up a position next to the goblins. Uh, I mean, you would gather just from the body language, they're not with the goblins. However, they're just a different faction who's sort of interested in this argument that's going on. The other people are in uh, mostly blue and gray, and are clearly members of the Church of the Silver Flame. And then there's the goblins, who appear to be protecting a leader of theirs who is arguing with the people from the Silver Flame and with one of a dwarf woman who seems to be representing the common folk, the squatters who are living down here.
I'm gonna cast um, dancing lights like right in the middle of them all.
Okay, so some of them do have torches, so you should be able to see.
I know. It's just to get their attention, make them stop, distract them.
Okay, so as these dancing lights begin to appear, uh, you see the people from the Silver Flame begin to turn around and see this group of apprentice wizards approaching them
And
with
hopefully
Tosh,
others.
yeah, with Taosh behind them, and you getting closer as well. It, are Lee and the other people moving forward too?
Oh
Or are you
yeah.
just hanging behind?
I mean, Elzin's definitely Elzin's definitely taking up the rear, letting the apprentices go first.
I will light a candle and I will
In
listen.
remembrance.
I will listen. I'm listening for a specific noise, maybe of coins or the sound of dice rolling.
So they're pretty far away from you to hear the sound of coins or dice.
Well, I have to get closer then because we have to solve this mystery.
Um, Teashmanan will approach, and in Goblin will say, "Sir, what is it that is happening here?"
The goblin leader will answer you back. I think you're the only one who speaks goblin here, so I will whisper it to you.
All right.
Yeah, don't have it.
So you see several people from the Silver Flame begin to sort of redeploy now that they see that you're approaching. And you can hear them say that these are shepherds. And they don't say it as if they approve.
That's fine. the the warg's over there barking something I don't understand. I'll take a step forward. It's like, come on now, we have business. Move out of the way. Clear the way. This is ours now.
And so the leader of the people from the Silver Flame steps forward and says, I don't know what claim it is you think you have, but this is a church of the Silver Flame. We have the ancient claim to everything that lies within this building.
Oh, I mean, you could like claim to the building. I don't care about the building.
And
So just,
everything inside.
no. That's not how things work. That stuff is portable. You can't
We're
claim it.
inside now.
You're not inside our church, you're not.
You mean that
These goblins
fallen down
also
building?
these goblins also think they own everything inside our church. So do the squatters who seem to be living here now, and we don't take issue with them continuing to live here. We're willing to help support them if need be, but the relics inside are ours.
Where else the squatter's going to live?
We don't have any problem with them living in the building. We live
You
to
have
serve.
been murdering these goblins.
We have not. That's their claim. We just arrived.
So you just arrived. So you just arrived, and you are going to kick out the people who were living in there just so that you can reclaim your church, even though it will be eaten up in 1 month, 1 year's time, subject to the bite.
As I said, I'm happy to let the people live here. I don't want the building, I want the relics inside. We are willing to help support the people living here. We're willing to make their lives more comfortable. Unlike the shepherds who use their resources to try to chase strange, arcane black magic, we of the Silver Flame are for the people. I see that you travel with a warg.
People. Very loose definition of people. People are intelligent. People have hearts. People can speak. And yet you kill those whom you fear simply because they do not look like you.
We kill those who are evil.
Your definition of evil, not mine.
There is only one definition of evil that matters, and it's not yours.
I'm starting to snake my
Lay
way
that
back away from
closer
this.
to me. I dare you.
It is. Do not waste your time with him, Tashvanan. He does not know. He does not know nor see your many great qualities. Sir, we have business inside. We have to collect a few things, and we will be out of your way, and you can have the rest of whatever relics you want.
Everything in the building belongs to the Church of the Silver Flame.
I find that hard to believe, given that the building, until very recently, was abandoned by the Church of the Silver Flame.
Only because we did not know it was here. It has been a long time.
You lose a whole church. You show your incompetence.
But we are here now and
you tell
reclaiming
'em.
our church.
Well,
No.
if you
And you, Teosh, you hear the Goblin Commander says in Goblin to his people that this is pointless and commands them all to go back inside. The rest of you then see the goblins begin to retreat back through the door into the building. But the Silver Flame people have sort of redeployed to block you. So there's only one guy here who could maybe do something about it, and he's not rushing them. So they all go back inside the building.
Teashvanan is going to walk right up to them and shoulder past them, daring them to do something. Using the entirety of my lupine presence.
So you
wanna know
can.
that
I
as
don't
as I
remember.
walked back. Sorry.
I don't. Go ahead.
I want to know as I walked back past the apprentices, I was definitely whispering, "This isn't going to end well. Be ready."
So I don't remember if lupine presence is an ability or just a phrase.
That's just
He's
you
trying
know,
to be flowery with it.
the the fur is sticking up, and it's clear that Teashvanan is being threatening and daring them to do something, testing their mettle.
I see.
Seeing
So
seeing where this is headed, Lee will use technically a bonus action, and his shield appears from his wrist.
So it is an action to equip a shield, but
Okay. Okay.
that's fine. Seem to have lost one of my guys, so I'm just putting it back on the board. If there's two
Oh,
of them,
that was
No,
I was
yeah,
covering
there it
him.
is.
oh, I see. So give me an intimidation check, Teosh. Why is this not working?
Second official roll.
Third.
Oh wait, that's right. There was a perception. Oh
I don't
boy.
have very good charisma.
Nor are you proficient in intimidation.
No.
Oh, the big puppy wants to cuddle.
So as you approach, they would all draw weapons.
Yeah, I would draw mine.
There is no need to there is no need to fight here. Look, do you wish to spill blood over some papers? Because if you do, then this can play out. But if you value the rest of the artifacts, then just you'd have to clear the goblins out anyway, or convince them to leave. And it seems like you failed to do that. He like looks.
Twice.
Look,
As they're back.
Hold on, I have to reload. Roll 20. There we go.
so
Well, we were making headway with the goblins until you arrived.
clearly you were not, because they just left you.
In any
Felt
event,
like it was
I would rather have the goblins loot this place than your kind. Why are you even with these shepherds? By the
What?
way, is your dragon mark visible? Or are you wearing something to cover it?
Uh, it is not readily visible. It is on the back of his neck. Which would be covered up by his attire.
Okay.
who are the people
Why
that
we
are
are with the why we're with these shepherds is none of your business. They
Are
are
you
doing they I believe they are working towards trying to reverse the bite.
the shepherds are probably the cause of the bite for all we know. They truck in dark magic. I don't know why someone like you would be in charge of this group. Are you one of the shepherds?
We have a mutual arrangement, and I will forgive you. I will forgive you, sir, for your ignorance of the matter. I see you are only schooled in the ways of the Church of the Silver Flame and not of the wider world. But I think you could stand to learn a thing or two about the true goals of the Shepherds of Time.
I would say the same to you. If only you understood the evil that they represent, the waste of resources. They live up in their university, using up food and resources that could go to feed thousands, to continue the research of a few hundred.
he's not wrong.
Well, for the rest of those, that is where House Galandra takes and comes into play. They continue to feed and clothe many of those Shosarn and the wider area.
I respect the efforts of what House Galandra does, but they do what they do with the resources the city gives them, and the city gives far too many resources to these shepherds.
I understand your position, but it is not going to change outside your abandoned place of worship.
No, it is certainly not. And we see no reason to let the shepherds intervene in what an affair that doesn't concern them. This temple belongs to us. It always has. Nothing about the bite or the great mourning changed our rights to our property.
Rights, property, concepts that mean nothing in the time we live. We must be as a community, and you seek to establish footholds and restrict.
Listen, how about this? Perhaps we are looking at this all wrong. Perhaps whoever sent these new artifacts here did it for a reason, because they knew it would bring us together, perhaps in a chance of understanding. Come to an agreement.
What
Maybe we can
new
all
artifact?
benefit.
What new artifacts are you talking about?
Well, I knew is a strange way to put it, I suppose, whenever dealing with time.
What are you saying? Are the
I'm
shepherds
saying,
somehow creating artifacts?
no. Come on. Perhaps there would be a way to determine this. How about we go look?
Make me a persuasion check.
You got to be shitting me. Action points.
Yeah.
Uh, Come
Already
on.
in mid-season form.
right.
I would be willing to allow some of you to go inside with supervision to ensure you don't steal anything. But I'm certainly not allowing this entire gaggle of dark wizards in.
I do believe
Arg,
you're
go
not
get them.
in a position to allow anyone inside, given that your esteemed friends, the goblins, are already in there, and they presumably would not allow you inside either.
Well, I'm willing to test that. I'm willing to go inside right now. Are you brave enough, halfling?
Of course he is. Look at him. Brave little chap.
Then let's
You
go
want
in
to bet
together.
on it?
Be my guest. We will back you up.
What? I am not backing up any of the scum.
Let him go in first.
Who are the people? Are
I
those
don't
the
think he can
squatters, the six
understand
people out
subtlety.
there?
Yes. One of them appears to be a little bit better dressed than the rest, and it seems you could have heard she was the one who was talking for the squatters before you interrupted the negotiations.
All right. I'm going to go up to them. Go up to her then. I'm assuming that's her then.
Yep.
And I'm going to give her some of my rations to give to whomever.
Well, I thank you for this. I'll make sure that they're handed out to people who need them. How much are you giving her?
Let's. I'll give her a day's rations. I mean, she can split it or whatever.
She would just hand that over to the guy next to her then.
Okay.
So do you mean to go in and clear out the goblins then? The goblins have been making people disappear for days now. The rumor is that they're eating them.
What is does of the general knowledge of goblins, does that sound realistic or true of
I
like what
mean,
goblins actually do, or is it just like a boogeyman story?
it's like if somebody said that the squatters were eating the goblins, it would be sort of the same thing. It's not completely inconceivable, but it's not what you would expect.
Gotcha,
Yeah, goblins killing people, sure, they might do that. Um, but eating them seems a bit much.
gotcha.
But this is a level where like House Galandra does not come down here. So there is no steady supply of food that comes here. Their people probably are like catching and eating rats.
Gotcha. That that does not sound right to me. That sounds made up.
Maybe they're just murdering them or carrying them down into the vaults beneath this church. But what are they using them for then? People have been going missing. Now maybe some of them have wandered off, but once 6, 7, 8 people start disappearing, it's not just people wandering away. These are people with families down here.
Are you so sure it is these goblins?
Who else would it have been? The Silver Flame people just showed up. You just showed up. So I don't think it's either of your groups. The goblins are the new faction that's appeared recently. And as soon as they kicked us out of the lower level, people started disappearing.
Which guy are we talking to?
This female dwarf who
Okay.
seems fairly heavily scarred, but still dressed a bit better. Like she's actually in armor, whereas everybody else is in rags. Leather armor, not like plate.
In what is your name?
Carcana. Carcana Moranin.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Elzen de Galandra.
Galandra. Boy, have they sent you down here? Are they finally going to give some relief to the people who live down here?
And part of my mission was to come down and assess how much relief House Galandra should send.
Well, I mean, I would guess that there's probably 1,000 people living in this section of the city. Mostly living off of scrap.
Well, I will see what I can do. It is, it is tough everywhere.
Do we know like what difficulties are involved in going up? Just like trying to go up from this position?
So right, you mean like without like a magic ramp?
Right.
Right. So you would have to basically walk around the cliffside a pretty good distance. There's a bridge in Tavik's Landing that's not in great shape, but it can take you to the central tower. And then from there you can go up pretty easily. The other way is to go around quite a distance around the cliffside to another set of bridges that would take you to some of the interior towers from which you could go up. And then there are a little bit of ways further on the cliffside, there are internal stairways that also go up.
Are
So
there
it's not physically hard to do it. It's that nobody wants the people who can't work on the higher levels because there are more mouths to feed and they're not contributing.
is there like are there passes required or certain like kind of
It's not,
processes to keep
yeah.
people out, or is it
There are when you get a good deal higher than you are now. The people who are here probably could pretty easily go up several layers in the towers. They don't necessarily like this is this is like the bottommost layer you could live on without living inside the bite itself. And they probably could go up from here. But the more you concentrate people, like I said, there probably are small animals, mostly vermin, that you could find here and eat. If you concentrate everybody one level up, that's that much less food a level up for people to dine on.
Yeah,
And the people up there, probably don't want more people moving in. So there could be some violence, but it's not like passes, not this low in the city.
gotcha.
And
I
so
will.
the leader of the Silver Flame, Orson, says, "So you're to Galandra. Are you ready to go in? Show us exactly how brave the Dragon Mart's houses really are."
Right after you.
So he'll start walking.
I'll walk right beside him. 'Cause the
Uh,
minute he does anything, uh, Tayash is ready to pounce.
Oh, alright. And Elzen will like kind of fall in, you know, still keeping some distance because that's not his style. And he pulls out this rod that is about 2 feet long, and it's got this black. It looks like it's made of obsidian, and kind of fused with this kind of pinkish, bloodish, um, kind of stone, almost like it shines. Um, and when you hear it, or when he pulls it out, uh, you hear this faint rumbling of voices, um, which sounds like there's like distant avalanches. And
and as
you've heard this before. This isn't like a new sensation. I would think that in the time that we've known each other, you would have seen this rod, and you would have felt this, heard that sensation.
as you pull out this rod, you do see there are more Silver Flame people moving in.
Are these silver flames?
Yes, these
I
are
am.
sort of the rank and file Silver Flame mercenary types.
The red shirts.
Yes.
I step forward and say, only a select few are allowed inside right now. Please wait out here.
So make me another persuasion check. I'm just
I point
curious as to
back. I
how he
point back through the
reacts.
door. We're with them. It's fine. But sure. Persuasion.
Yep. I mean, you could decide if you prefer deception, I guess, or something like
I.
that.
uh, yes, I would prefer deception. I don't assume any authority over these people.
Right.
Can I look at that? Can I stand over there with my shield and look at
So,
them
hold on.
menacingly to help him?
Hold on.
He's standing there menacingly.
So he seems to accept that not everyone can go inside, but they do begin to sort of block off the entrance. Let the two squatters go in.
fine with that.
Like, kind of stand in a way. Yeah, try to stand in some way where there's cover. Maybe using one of the squatters as cover, partial cover.
Cover from what exactly?
Anything.
There are goblins ahead. There are goblins ahead. There could be bolts or slings or arrows coming our way.
So yeah, Orson, the leader of the Silver Flame people, begins to talk to this one woman ahead of them, and he turns back to you, Elson, and says, "It appears as though the goblins have gone back underground into the catacombs underneath the church."
Lucky you. It means you can move into the first level and not have any opposition, except for those who have been living here already.
Except that I'm not that sure I want to go in there with you ready to stab us in the back, or at least your wizard friends ready to do it. I would suggest you have your wizard friends withdraw, and then we will deal with the goblins.
What do you mean by deal?
I mean, we will make sure that they vacate our premises.
Well, then you have to send your goons away. It's only fair.
We may need them to fight the goblins.
There are less than 10 of them.
There were less than 10 of them who came outside, who came up from the catacombs in order to accuse us of murdering them. We have no idea how many goblins are waiting for us downstairs.
I'm talking about our people, a number less than 10. What does it matter if they're here or not? The
I,
numbers will
sup-
not.
I suppose we could send for reinforcements, and as long as we have overwhelming numerical superiority over your wizards,
We aren't here to fight.
Is he talking about the 8 to 10 strong backs they sent?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Those wizards.
I think wizard is a generous term, and no offense, but they are apprentices. They are in training. Their training consists of pen and paper. I think you have nothing to worry about.
Well, if that's all that they can do, then you should send them away anyway. We wouldn't want them to get injured if fighting should break out.
I appreciate you looking out for the welfare of our people, but we can manage.
Except I'm not looking out for their welfare. I'm looking out for the welfare of my people who don't want to be stabbed in the back by your people.
The apprentice, famously known for their
Well, that's
antics to stab someone in the back.
not what I wanted.
I mean, you would know that these probably are legitimate apprentices. They probably do at least have cantrips.
Mhm.
So what's this place look like? I take a quick look around. Is it like a dump? Falling in. There's trash everywhere. And
I mean, right. So clearly people have been living here for quite a while. These were once pews, but they're mostly just fragments of wood now. There used to be a wall that separated this from a large stone platform in the next room, but that wall has been broken down. Um, I don't know if any of you are old enough that you would know exactly what, but you gather that there used to be a very large flame burning in the center of the platform in the room next to you, although there's nothing burning there now. So this is essentially the cathedral side of this church where services were probably held.
As as we're walking in, is there anything that Teashmanan can smell?
So there is the smell is kind of just unwashed humanity, and dwarvishness is kind of overwhelming.
Okay.
I'd like to speak up, looking down the end of the cathedral, not seeing a flame. I would just look to their leader and say, I'm going to have to nitpick your rules here, but you said this was your church, right?
Church of the Silver Flame. So says
Well,
the emblem on the outside.
yeah, but there is no silver flame, so this cannot be your church.
There is no silver flame now. If you would like, I can ignite one.
Yeah, I would love it. Yes, let's see it.
So he will walk over to the platform.
If
He
only we
didn't
had
use torch.
counterspell right now, because that would be hilarious.
And he does begin to cast a spell. And you see an enormous silver flame begins to grow in the center of this platform, leaping up close to the ceiling.
I just like look to the party. I'm like, oh, I didn't know he could do that. So
It was
tried.
a good try.
So, Digalandra, we're not willing to let your wizards simply ransack our church and take what relics there may be left below. But if you want to go treat with the goblins and get them to withdraw, I don't have any particular objection to that.
Well, we're not going to solve your problem for free.
I don't consider it to be a problem. I'm trying to find a way to let you do whatever it is you're here to do without giving the edge to the dark wizards you work with. We'll go deal with the goblins, but we'll not do it with you at our backs, ready to betray us. Or we'll let you, not your wizards, but your group, absent the wizards, go and deal with the goblins.
So you can betray us. Because you'll be at our backs.
Yeah.
Or you can withdraw and we'll deal with the situation. If all you're here to do is collect papers, we have no reason to take your papers.
Then we have been arguing for no good reason this whole time, because that is the only reason here is to collect papers, not your precious artifacts of the church.
But we want to go in and collect our artifacts first. We're not letting you go in and potentially ransack everything and sneak off with our stuff.
Oh, come now.
Your artifacts are worthless.
We have built up so much trust, you and I, us, we all. We have come to know each other better. I think this could be quite nice.
What are you proposing then?
Listen, we're just a few people. Even if we took something, it would be like nothing compared to the vast wonders you are sure to find down here.
What is your interest in your artifacts anyway?
We really did not come here seeking them, no.
Is the Church of the Silver Flame, are they hard up and looking for things to sell?
Do wizards need more pieces of paper?
Knowledge,
Tell
Yes.
me,
Daniel,
what is this
knowledge,
paper? What is this paper you're looking to get? Why is it worth so much to you, apparently?
knowledge is priceless, my friend.
So are holy artifacts.
So take your artifacts.
We will withdraw. We will collect our artifacts.
You collect your artifacts, we collect our papers. That's it.
We're not
We don't
letting
even
you down there
we
until
don't even have to
we've
talk to each other.
withdraw and let us go about our business, and then you can come in and go about yours.
Listen, we're already here. I'm not going to spend more time down here than I have to.
Look, why don't we just go together? Eh?
I don't think that's very wise
Why not?
because we don't trust you enough to try to mount some joint operation to chase the goblins out of the cellars.
Can you imagine the tales that
We're
they could
not
tell?
here to chase goblins out of cellars. We are here to collect what we are here to collect.
I think we should take him up in his offer. Let's go parlay with the goblins. I think they will we may have an easier time reasoning with them.
This is true.
Look, we will go parlay with the goblins and let you know when we have struck an accord.
We will be here.
And
Where did the shepherds say that the papers were that they're wanting us to get?
They
Did
said
they
they
say
would
that it
be.
was a specific place within the church or
They did
just
not
in the
give a
church?
specific place within the church. They suggested they would be in the catacombs below.
Right. Does anybody here speak Wargish?
Nope. I got a thieves' camp for you. A little bit of primordial, just in case the fancy strikes.
So Orson, the Silver Flame leader, pulls you aside, Elzin, and says, "We'll give you a day to go down and deal with the goblins, however you see fit. We will be up here around the exterior of the church waiting for you to return. If you come back, we will want to make sure that you're not pilfering our artifacts. But other than that, we don't necessarily care if you carry out only paperwork."
Yes, yes. Say no more. We
I'm not
understand.
talking to you, Drow.
It's okay. You have been heard.
that is reasonable. And you know, uh, and that is reasonable. And remember that it would be unwise to get on the bad side of a dragon marked house, a dragon marked house of Galandra.
And be advised that the Silver Flame is already on the bad side of every one of the Dragon Marked houses because we are champions of the people and not of the state.
You can continue to tell yourself that.
And you can continue to believe it's not true.
Well, we might as well get our other people in here then. I don't want to deal with goblins with just a few of us. Let's get everyone in here.
Yeah, at that point, Elotal will tell you she doesn't want to send her apprentices down to maybe fight goblins. These are guys with like one hit point. They're here to carry boxes.
You see how she protests.
Hopefully they don't drop those boxes on their toes and lose that one hit point.
Yes. Stay away from the danger.
But
with con bonuses, maybe some of them have two.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we are on our own.
So the Silver Flame people will withdraw to the exterior of the church.
This the Church of the Silver Flame is the worst.
Um,
Such a bunch of diverks.
I retract my earlier statements, Teash Vanan. At least these ones are insufferable.
They're chat or
don't you hate getting proven wrong?
Which direction is the catacombs?
You don't know.
Yeah.
There seem to be no signs that say catacombs this way.
Where was the lady that was outside? Is she visible?
She's right here.
Oh, is she coming in? I guess.
She's standing in essentially the nave of the church.
After they all left, they're
Yes,
just
she's
standing there.
still standing in the nave of the church.
Well, I'll just look to Teash. Would you like to ask them about the goblins?
wait, ask who?
These humans. Let's see what they know of them.
Anna.
Yeah,
What?
Karana. Yeah,
It's
I see it there.
Carcana. I just forgot a K.
Okay, Karkana.
Why are you asking me to talk? You have words. You have lips.
Korkana, what is the deal with these goblins? When did they move in? What do they want?
They've forced their way past us about perhaps a week ago, waving weapons around, threatening to kill people. They came in and searched the upper layers and found virtually nothing left, nothing they were interested in. But they mostly came to go down to the basement. We weren't able to get in because there was a heavy trap door. Couldn't be broken through, at least not by us, and nobody could get through the lock. But they seem to have gotten through it no problem. Since then, obviously, we don't go that close to it. We don't want to deal with any goblins if we don't have to.
Have they come up frequently, or do they mostly stay in the basement?
A few of them came up after the first couple of days carrying things with them. We gave them a wide berth.
What sorts of things were they carrying out of the catacombs?
Chests, mostly.
Ah,
We may be late.
sounds like the church, Mr. Paladin over there maybe come up empty-handed.
Indeed.
Well,
Seems
I'm
like
quite sure that that was his concern when he first arrived, is that the goblins may be pilfering his precious artifacts, whatever they may be. Since this place has been here for centuries now, I'm sure there's nothing edible. Probably no good cloaks to keep people warm, so nothing that we'd be terribly interested in.
where are these basements?
The trapdoor's at the back of the cathedral here, up close to the altar, on the western wall in a corner.
You ever been down there?
No. Like I said, we couldn't even get the door open. We don't know how the goblins manage it. I imagine it opens up easily enough now. I have no idea if it's locked. I have no desire to get stabbed by some goblins, so I've not gone near it and told everyone else to stay away from it too.
She said it was where at again?
The back.
It is here.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh yeah, all right. I can barely see.
Low light.
Um,
Dark vision is
yeah,
low
I
light.
know. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the old dancing lights again, floating right above me here, or yeah,
So you can like
around me.
drop a torch.
Let's see. Torch. Give me some light.
So it is a very heavy trapdoor. Like the it is made of wood, but it's bound in steel. So you could see why, unless you had like an axe and time to go through it, it might be difficult to break through. It
Hmm.
does appear to be unlocked.
Okay. I just like look over. It's unlocked. I'll examine it, make sure it's not like a trapped trap door.
You do not see any traps.
All right.
But it is what's your strength? You could probably lift it, but it's just very heavy.
My strength is a 9.
Yeah, I mean you could still lift it. It's just very heavy.
I won't even I won't even think about trying to lift it. Can't imagine what face I would make.
Don't look at me. I don't have thumbs.
Yeah, he
Thumbs.
can't. Teosh, the downside of wargs is they can't open doors.
Yeah.
So
I could tie a little rope around the mechanism and you can pull on it.
there you go. Teosh would like that, like a little rope chew toy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lee can get it.
Where is Lee?
I'm going to talk to Karkana. I'm going to hand her some more rations, another day's of rations. I'm going to say, we go down there. If you could have someone or yourself stand by the trap door while we are down there, make sure that we are not locked in. And if something happens, rap on the door with something to alert us.
I suppose we could do that. So she will follow you back towards the trap door.
Alzin like holds up his hands. I'm afraid I am no good here.
He holds up his soft hands.
So supple and lotioned.
God.
He has a -2 modifier to strength. Definitely not a.
I will try to open it then.
So what's Lee's strength?
Well,
So you can open it. Like I said, it's not impossible to open. It's just heavy. So it sort
right.
of slowly creaks open. I mean, it is like 4x4. You can see light pours in from downstairs as there are a number of ever burning torches. You can also see it's about 20 feet from where the trapdoor is to the floor below. And you can see that there are goblins sort of spread around the room beneath you, all of whom look up because it's obvious this trapdoor has just been opened. The goblins have bows. Well, at least three of the goblins have bows, and they begin to ready them.
Just
There
keep
is no need. There is no need to fight. We are not with. We are not with. We are not with the church.
Then there is no need for you to come down, says the goblin without a bow.
Uh, Teashvanan will poke his head through and say in Goblin, "We only seek to speak with you to get a better sense of what is happening. If you will allow us to come down, we can do so peacefully."
So this goblin, you realize this is not the goblin you were dealing with before. You're, he's a little bit different. Um, and those of you who recognize goblin hierarchies would realize he's a little bit more noble born than the other goblins. Um, but he is also unarmored and in robes and is carrying a number of vials along on like a almost like a belt pouch kind of situation. Can you not speak from where you are?
Isn't it better to speak eye to eye?
Depends on what needs to be said. We have our claim.
This is not about claims. This is about Acha and Mahut. Surely as Dar, you know these concepts.
I am aware of them, but I owe my allegiance to my people and not to the people above.
And I am not asking you to break any such allegiance. If it is better for you, we can speak in this way.
I can have my men position a ladder to allow you to come down, though I don't know how easily you can use a ladder.
How far down is it?
20 feet.
Mm.
lower
Tie a
you
rope
down
to
by
you
your
and lower you
tail.
down.
The first
Uh,
challenge of playing a floater like an animal. How do we do ladders?
Doesn't this fucking guy teleport?
Only cosmetically right now.
Oh, right. That's right.
Mike, do you have a harness or something that we can kind of
No,
lower you down?
no, completely naked except for my collar.
We could fashion a harness.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have rope, right?
Yep.
I will not subject myself to such embarrassment.
Hold on, I think I've done this before. I think I
Give
could
me
rig
some
something up.
dignity. Um,
There's no time for dignity.
we can try it, lad. I will do my best.
So he commands some of the other goblins who walk over to one of the side walls and they pull a very long ladder off and bring it to the center of the room, sticking it up through the trapdoor. The ladder appears to be made of iron. Easy enough for everyone to climb down. A little more challenging for Teosh.
And of course, Teosh, being a warg and with not the sensibilities of a typical person, goes head down. Um, because it feels safer than going backwards. Um, I imagine that she tries to take a few steps and then just kind of bounds off of it once it's safe.
Right.
Do you want to check or anything for that?
Uh, you can make a check just to see how gracefully you pull it off. An acrobatics check with disadvantage.
Of course.
So it's not awful. You're undamaged by the fall. It's not the most graceful thing, but you
Okay.
feel like you were just this close to doing it perfectly.
Do you think a warg always lands on its feet when it falls, Paelius?
Apparently not.
How is he going to get back up?
The problem for a different day.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be even better going up. For us.
Oh,
Um,
it will
So this
stop.
goblin comes forward. So what is it that you're here for then?
We are seeking papers, documents, scrolls, things bearing knowledge.
We may have seen things like these, although they were in the chest with the crystals.
Let me guess, those are the chests that left here not that long ago?
We have no idea when they were put here. We assume they've been here for centuries. It didn't look as if anyone had come down here before us. We were making good progress on cleaning this place out, although then people started going missing. People started turning up dead.
Yes, the others said similar things.
Yes. They blame you, of course, but we are not so bullheaded to believe that without proof. Do you have any sense of what happened to these people? Like what if they went missing at a specific time or a specific place?
We don't know how they're getting in, but somehow they're getting down here and they're snatching up our search parties. Sometimes there's a puddle of blood left behind, sometimes no trace at all. But we haven't found another way out, and we know no one's been coming through the trapdoor except for us. We assume there's some back way in, a secret passage we haven't found yet. We will find it, though.
So you find trails of blood,
No, we find puddles of blood.
just the puddles.
So far, sometimes not even that.
And we are sure that it's from up coming down, and not something from down coming up. We are awfully close to the fog, to the bite.
Sometimes you see the bite down here. But these, where we've seen blood, hasn't been in the bite.
It's so difficult to tell. You're
There
very
are-
close.
There are things that can come and go without being noticed, without needing entrances or exits. And at that, Tash Banan will demonstrate her teleporting a few feet.
Impressive, although it does seem like that would be a way to get in here. Are there others of your kind who've been getting into our catacomb?
No, I am the only one of my kind I know with this ability. I'm merely suggesting it. Whatever may be doing this may not be one of the peoples above.
Possibly. We haven't gone out of our way to accuse them or to punish them. But our suspicion is it's some of the squatters above. Although I now hear that there are Silver Flame people poking around, it may very well have been them.
I do not think I do not think they do have much to worry about from the squatters.
The
The
silver
squatters.
flame I can see having no problem killing goblins, the Golendar. However, I do not think they would be so willing to kill others such as
Feels like
they.
it feels like they've arrived too late for it to have been happening.
Looking around the room, by the way, you can see that there is what appears to be a sealed door to the north. And then there's a passageway leading out to the south. There are two torches positioned around the door to the north, suggesting that they were doing work on it. You can see that there are numerous like blast marks on the door, and the door looks damaged, but it still looks pretty solid.
I eyeball it and I'm like, not got through yet.
Not yet.
Do you mind if I take a look?
I don't mind if you look, but
I'm
whatever may be in that vault is ours.
okay. What if what we want is very boring? Because I feel like it probably is. I'm just looking.
If you can open the door, so much the better. As I said, we want
Fine.
what's behind the door.
If I can, that will be a future time. We must strike an accord. But I'll examine the door. Does it seem like something I could get through? Or is it like you need to have this combination or whatever? It can
There's a
only be open
lock.
from the other side? Okay.
There's a lock on it, so it is possible you could pick it. The lock is damaged from the explosions, so it might be hard to open, but that may have been its point. It's clearly like a secure door and was intended to be a secure door.
Okay.
I am sure we could find suitable compensation if you are able to open the door.
Well, we need to first have a look around to make sure it's not somewhere else. Because if
So
what we
what
seek is already here, then we have no reason to open the door.
Well, we are still searching. Like we said, we think there are secret passages down here. We haven't found them all yet. So what is your proposal? Why have you said you came to talk?
We are looking for papers. These papers are important. They would have arrived in a sudden manner. We do not care for the artifacts or anything else that the Silver Flame is interested in. We only wish to search around to see if we can find the source of these papers and then procure them and be on our way. We
We
do
don't
not, we do not seek gold or jewels or crystals or whatever else is in here.
I
So
don't object if you wish to look around, that's fine. You should talk to Shirhan before you take anything, including the papers. We would hate for there to be a misunderstanding.
who is Shirhan?
He is our leader. I believe you saw him before he came back down.
Well, should we find them, we will be sure to check with Shirhan. Do we have clearance to explore?
If you wish.
With that, Elzen is gonna start like walking around,
I'm
looking.
gonna, I'm gonna be like, how will they know?
How will who know what?
The people further inside. Is someone gonna go ahead and tell everyone that we are okay to be here? Or is there a
We,
special
we are not
communication?
savages. What do you expect? We're just going to attack you on sight?
Yes, that is exactly what I expect to happen
I will
at
send one of
any
my
given
men.
time.
I will send one of my men with you to let others know that you are permitted to be here.
Perfect.
And he walks back over to the door and sits down and proceeds to unroll an alchemist kit in front of you and begins to mix more explosives.
I'm like, no, don't do that, please. It makes my job so much harder.
I need to get through this door. I figure
Give it a moment. Take a break. Go have a
I
nice
will.
steak or
I,
something.
if only we had meat.
You don't have meat, you say?
But he orders one of the goblins to go with you.
Perfect. Shall we proceed?
It seems I have left my torches at home. Paelius, I think I will need to stick close to you and your lights.
I mean, the goblin he's sending with you has a torch.
Oh,
So,
uh, then, then we shall follow in your footsteps. Yeah, start moving in.
and as you get to about to there, you begin to hear like a high pitched, almost squeaking noise.
Is it coming from a specific direction?
Just it seems to echo through like these chambers appear to be more or less roughly hewn, but it appears to be echoing off the walls, and
Okay.
it's getting louder.
Does it look like it does sound like it's moving?
It sounds like it's getting louder, so probably moving.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was
Uh,
getting louder because we were walking towards it rather than it walking towards us.
right, and around the corner you see just a wave of rats begins to pour out.
Dinner.
Everyone could roll initiative.
Rats back on the menu, boys.
For some reason, my initiative is 4.14.
Be right back.
I have no idea why.
So roll it again. I get 16.14 is what it says now.
Can't I make a roll?
Yeah, I'm rolling my initiative in a second. Sorry about that, everyone.
No problem. So Mbop actually goes first.
Oh wait, were did everybody move out of where we were?
Yeah, they moved down into the hallway to the south. You're muted, Lisa.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, can I cast sleep?
Uh, you can. So, can you post that spell, or I can look it up?
Yeah, hold on.
Well, Lisa, you may want to use your movement first to get to where you can see the enemy, because neither of us can see what we're fighting right now.
Hold on, my computer's going really slow. Stop, Maddox. Hi, hi, hi. Hi. All right, so I'm so sorry. Can someone else go first?
Lisa, why don't we switch places real quick?
Okay.
Or just bring Maddox down here.
Okay,
At you.
I'll bring her down. Let's go, baby. You ready to go see Daddy? Yeah. Yeah. Coming. He's coming. He's coming.
All right. I'm gonna give me 1 second so I can set up the uh Hi.
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 Two, three.
Okay. Okay, now it's on the speakers, so can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So with sleep, you have to pick a spot, and then everything within 20 feet of that spot is potentially going to get hit with it. So from where you are, you can't necessarily see what you're aiming at.
So neither me nor Lisa can see any enemies right now. Is there an obstruction or you're muted, Kurt?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, I don't hear mine.
Yeah, I don't hear you either.
There, that should work.
Yeah.
So the rats that you're facing are like around a corner from where you are.
Uh, so
There are rats in front of me, around the corner.
Well, if they're headed in this direction, we might want to just hold the action until we see them, and then when they show up, just nail them.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my action. I can't really do anything without seeing someone.
Okay. The goblin's going to retreat. He'll drop his torch and then back up and ready his bow. Uh, these rats are going to swarm over and then jump into the same space as Elzin. At least that first one is. And then the second one is actually going to run. Whoops. And get stretched. It's going to attempt to run past all of you. And you see another one running around the corner. They seem as if they're fleeing something, but they're running past you. You can take an attack of opportunity if you want. Elzin and Paelius.
I'm gonna say no.
And then one's going to run into, well, it's 50-50. Could go at either of you. Let's see. This one's going to run into Paelius' square.
No. Try to avoid it.
At least it should. It's not letting me open the character sheet for some reason. Let me just find it. If it opens them. Hold on, I have to refresh. Roll 20 is acting up.
Jump gate. The browser's not liking it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the browser doesn't like regular Roll 20 either, though.
Yeah. There are days.
So first, one of them is going to attack Elzin.
Wow, that's definitely a hit.
And then one's going to attack Paelius and miss.
Oh.
And that's their turn. Lee, you have a swarm that is attacking Pyeleus, two swarms that have run past you, and then one that's attacking Elson.
Um, yeah. Let's see, there should be one swarm like right behind, like next to the goblin.
Yes, there's one in front of Mbop and one in front of the goblin.
Oh, okay. All right. The one in front of Umbop, I'm gonna use my shield and hit it. Not with that roll.
Yeah, 7 misses. Anything else you're doing?
Nope.
Elson.
Elzen is going to he's going to spend his action to disengage. And let's see, he can move here. Yeah, he's going to spend his action to disengage, and
If you run that way, then a couple of swarms might take an opportunity attack.
even if I'm disengaging.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm mistaken.
Yeah, so he can make it there. Kind of diving through the legs of the different medium-sized folk.
I'm barely medium.
It's still larger than Elzen.
5 foot. Not by much.
Let's see. What do I have any bonus actions? I don't think so. Yeah. No bonus action. So that is gonna be my turn.
So, Mbop, now you can see the swarms, or at least some of them. The goblin is going to fire his short bow at the swarm in front of him, but miss because he's at disadvantage.
All right. Can I go ahead and cast sleep then?
You can, given that the rats have sort of swarmed around you, you could hit your own people.
Okay.
There is like one swarm in the back that you could go after without hitting anybody.
Close swarm.
Oh,
Or
I'm in.
sleep. So
Okay.
I'm an elf. I can't be put to sleep.
Wait. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose.
Oh, okay.
What was heroism again?
You give somebody the ability to
To be brave.
brave. Yeah.
I could do command, right? Can I
They
command
need
them?
to. I think they need to understand the language. And that only works on creatures with intelligence above. You could do vicious mockery though.
Can I do minor illusion and make the rats, I don't know, be like snakes or something and chase them away?
You could certainly try.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
All right, so post the spell.
Okay, so Or an image of an object in range that lasts for the duration. All right, what do I have to roll?
So make me an intimidation check.
Okay.
Go to core. Down.
This one?
Intimidation, yeah.
So it is within a 5 foot range. So, but you scare this swarm that's right in front of you,
Uh-huh.
which they all immediately begin to turn around and run in the opposite direction. And so on their turn, they will run.
Gotcha.
And it's Paelius' turn.
Um, step out of that.
You love taking those things out, don't you?
She was like, ooh.
Is this a torch in front of
That's
me
a
here?
torch. The goblin dropped his torch.
God damn this guy. All right. How high up is the ceiling? The
About
roof of the cave here.
about 10 feet in the passage.
Hmm. Um, just because I'm a little curious if something is going to come down the hallway, I'm going to cast levitate and
Okay.
move up towards the roof.
So you are floating in the air well above the swarms.
Just like keeping an eye.
Anything else you're doing?
Nah. Unless I can do the hide part of the bonus action stuff that, or do I even have that yet?
I don't think you have that until second
yeah, I
level.
don't have that yet. Yeah. I'm not used to starting at first level.
So Lee, it's your actual turn. The
Oh, was
swarm
that
you
tech?
this yeah, the swarm,
Oh.
yeah, that was an attack of opportunity. The swarm you attacked looks panicked and looks like it's gonna run back down the hallway from where it came. But that is kind of through your square.
All right. I will attack the one adjacent to me. That's near the in front of the goblin.
Okay.
I will try my shield again with another 7 and miss.
Yep. Teosh. I'll get your name down eventually.
All right. So yeah, she's gonna move in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And just start chomping on these things.
Oh yeah?
Yes. By the way, so Tashmanon, from his collar, he has this thing hanging down, and he puts his muzzle in, or she puts her muzzle into it, and it's like this muzzle over her face, but they're like steel jaws to reinforce her own natural teeth. So that's what she's using.
But if you have a collar, does that mean someone owns you?
No, that's my Whomper.
Oh.
Ah, shit.
You just barely miss biting the rats.
Uh,
Can I reroll?
Yeah, I'm gonna use an action point and do another attack because that's weak sauce. God damn it!
Got one left.
Oh my god.
Got one left. Wow, we've been playing how long, and you still got one left? What?
Hey, I didn't use the first action point though. Tony did on the first roll of the game. So
I needed it, and
of
it
course
didn't
I'm gonna use
matter.
my last action point. All right. Okay. There we go.
Finally, something good happens for us.
Uh, so you can roll to confirm if you want. That confirms.
All right. And then I'm applying my hunter's mark as well as part of that attack.
You might as well save it because you clearly killed this swarm completely dead.
Oh, okay, cool. Do I get to roll in the percentile? I just want to see what I've gotten.
Yeah, sure. You would have pushed it back 10 feet, knocked it prone, disarmed it if it had a weapon, and knocked it in a random direction.
Okay.
But it's dead.
So I just chomp into the rats, tear that one up, tear that one up, chomp another, just devouring them.
It is like as if a machine gun could bite.
Okay, good.
Alzin can't tell if you're hungry and trying to eat them or if you're attacking them.
Yes.
So it's Mbop's turn again.
All right, so let's see.
So the swarm in front of you is still panicking and going to run.
Okay. Oh, is
But
that
they-
swarm not dead?
No, that was this. This is the one that's running, the one that was right in front
Oh,
of you.
I see. Okay, cool. So, can I move? I can move.
Yeah, you can move.
15, 20, 25.
Well, wait, you're gonna draw attacks of opportunity moving
Yeah.
through those swarms.
I'll go here.
You don't have to move if you're gonna do a ranged thing.
Well, I don't have a range.
Yes, you do.
Vicious mockery.
But can I do vicious mockery to rats?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is a magical attack. Even rats feel the sting.
Of your insults.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I'll do vicious mockery.
It's quite a way to kill somebody.
Look at the word. Yeah.
All right.
Nothing is safe.
So against which swarm? This one or the one that's going to run or what?
Let's do the one you pinged.
Okay.
The further one.
They made a save.
Wow.
Those are some confident rats.
Yeah, they've heard this one. They've heard those.
Oh, wait. Oh, it didn't work?
No.
No,
Oh.
They rolled.
I had such a good thing to say, too.
You can still say it. It's just that
No, I'll save it. I'll
won't be a
save it.
sick burn.
I'll save it. I'll save it.
Say a dumb one. The one that clearly wouldn't have worked.
Just go. And that's it. That's it. All right.
So the goblin's going to fire his short bow at the one, and he hit, and it didn't roll damage for some reason.
I just imagine you did rat noises at them, and then they looked at you angrily, like you insulted their parents or something.
So the goblin fires an arrow at the swarm of rats and does some damage to it. This swarm begins to run, and Lee, you can take an attack of opportunity.
Another attack.
That hits.
Nice.
So 8. And then Elias, you could take an attack of opportunity
I
because
don't
they're
think
running.
No,
I don't
it's
think I
only
can because
5.
I was in the air.
Oh, you're right. Uh, are you floating are you like flat against the ceiling?
I would have
Because
went.
it's only 10 feet up to the ceiling. So I'm trying
Okay.
to figure out if you were still within 5 feet, you could take your attack of opportunity.
I imagined going pretty much to the top,
Okay.
at least like high enough to where I could see the roof around me, at
Right.
least.
So it runs to there then.
Okay.
This swarm is going to keep running forward. And it's going to move him off a little bit so I can catch him, ping him again. He is going to wind up swarming this goblin. And hitting. So he does a little bit of damage to the goblin, who's still fine. And then this other swarm, it's going to do the same thing. Oh, that is enough to fell the goblin. And that's the rat's turn. Lee. You now see there are 2 swarms that are covering the fallen body of this goblin.
You mean
Okay.
Lee or Elzen?
Yeah, I think it's Elzin's turn.
I have Lee at 16. Is Lee on here twice? Is that what? Yeah. For some reason, Lee's on here twice.
Oh, I only see Lee once. I don't see Lee
Yeah.
at 16.
For some reason, I have him on here twice, once at 16 and once at 7. But I guess 7
Yeah.
is the correct one.
Yep.
So, yes, Elzen then.
All right.
So there are 2 swarms then right next to you, eating
Uh,
the body of the goblin.
Elzen's going to hmm. Elzen's going to shoot them. And he's going to cast Eldritch Blast. And I guess I should just roll it. Yeah. Next at the one of the swarms directly in front of him.
That
Uh,
hits.
and it comes it comes like it comes out of the the rod, and it comes out as this kind of blood like kind of molten looking energy as it slams into the rats. And I'm gonna, if they're alive, then they're gonna be racked with pain. So they can't take reactions, at least the one I hit.
Yes, the swarm is still alive.
And I'm gonna spend an action point to do that again.
Okay. So that would have hit, but you're adjacent to them, so you're at disadvantage.
I have Spell Sniper, which
Okay.
means that I don't take disadvantage on range spells.
Okay.
And I'll attack the other swarm. so they can also like so that they'll because there's two of them on
Right.
this body. So I'm gonna have that four on the other swarm.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use my movement to uh, move 25 feet away.
Okay.
And since they can't take reactions,
They can't
they can't
attack.
attack me. And that'll be my turn.
Hyalius.
Um, can so I'd like to just use the wall to like push myself since I can't like walk while I'm levitating.
You can do that.
I just want to like kind of push in this direction, like a little deeper in to see if I can see something.
So you can see that this is like a corner and there's more tunnel going this way and seems to open up into a wider chamber.
And I don't see anything immediately in there.
No, you're not sure what caused these rats to start charging down the hallway.
There's nothing climbing on the ceiling.
Not that you can see.
All right. And this set of rats is running back in, right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna sit here and see if anything happens to them.
Okay.
Maybe I could do a hide action.
Sure.
A little stealth now.
Although, yeah, you're currently in bright light because the goblin dropped his torch.
Right.
And you
Okay.
technically need to be obscured.
I would, if I could, I would push myself along again, like just to like this corner.
Yeah, you can do that. If you got like even here, you'd be blocked from the light.
And then yeah, I roll. What the hell, man? Are these rolls?
Anything else you're doing?
I guess not. Not right now. No. Just keeping an eye on things that further in.
So Teosh's turn. You've got two somewhat staggered swarms next to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna munch on this one, the bottom one.
That's a hit.
And then I get to re-roll with Savage Attacker. So okay, so 13.
So you thin the herd out, but there's still some rats in that particular swarm.
So yeah, I'm not gonna do my hunter's mark on that. So that's my turn.
Bop.
Okay. I'm gonna try Vicious Mockery again.
So there's two swarms that are still eating the body of the goblin. One is noticeably smaller because Teosh just chewed on it.
Double click.
Which one do you want to go for? The healthier one or the weaker one?
Let's do the healthier one.
That time they failed. So they take the damage.
All right.
They also have
How
disadvantage on their next attack.
Right. So how do you mock these rats?
I look at them and I go, "Oh, you rats! Do you know your mom probably ate your siblings?"
So these other goblins begin to sort of move up now that they've seen that their comrade has fallen. Uh, Two of them are going to fire short bows. One missed. I'm going to reset this. Can't really do that. Nothing you can do this round. So two of the goblins fire short bows. The more highborn goblin, looks like he's considering throwing explosives in, but he would hit Mbop and Teosh, so he decides against that. Uh, the insulted set of rats is going to run forward, and it's going to attack one of the goblins, although it has disadvantage on its attack. And it misses. And the other one's going to keep eating the goblin. And this one's going to run. The frightened one's going to continue running.
Oh wait, so did that one like get away from me and like do I get an attack of opportunity on that one?
You're right, you do.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh, that sucks. Are we doing crit fails?
Yes, we are.
Ow.
So roll again.
Yeah.
That is a hit. So you avoided it. Elzin, there was a rat swarm like in the same square as the goblin.
I will hit that with an Eldritch Blast for a whole 2 damage. Though I will use. No, I'm not going to use it for this case. So yeah, just 2 damage.
Anything else?
That'll be it.
Hyelius, you've seen the rats now run off into the darkness, rounding a corner again. You haven't seen anything happen to them.
Okay. Um. All right. I'm not gonna go too much further in, but I'm gonna go just a tad. I'm gonna push myself to this spot. And then yeah, I'm not moving any further.
Let's see what you can see from here. So you can just barely begin to make out that there is some sort of mist down here.
Hmm.
And there appears to be like a little side cavern opening up, and the mist is in there.
Um. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna shove my way back. I don't know if I don't think I can. I don't know how far I can make it. I have a dash. Oh, no, wait. I could dash. Yeah, get myself a little further. I think I see some of our some mist down here. Let's wrap this up with the rats. Come on now.
So, Lee, it's your turn. There are two swarms of rats you're still engaged with.
All right. I realized that shield bash is the bonus action. I will take
That is
my
good
talon
to know.
attack and hit one of the swarms.
So, yeah, you'll have to move forward
Okay,
5 feet,
Yep. Okay, yeah, right here.
but you hit.
All right. And
It's
bonus
still
action,
up.
smash it with my shield.
And that destroys that swarm. Anything else you're doing?
Um, um, partaking in the juicy rat bits that are now on my shield because it's chow time.
So, Chaos's turn.
I'm gonna chomp again.
So you'll have to move. The swarm that's in front of you was just killed by Lee,
Oh,
but there's still this swarm here that's attacking the goblin.
okay. So I'll move over there and attack that one.
And that hits. Actually, that's enough to kill that one.
Hey, kid. Let's get back. Wanna go back?
So there is a swarm, but it is still running away from illusory snakes. So you've successfully defeated the rat swarms.
And I'm coming around the corner telling everybody about the mist.
It is coming up.
And Eldon clearly, other than the goblin who actually died, got the worst of it in that fight. The goblin who actually died did actually get it worse, though.
To be fair.
Unnamed red shirt goblin.
Right.
Then it is coming up from this passage.
Well, the rats went a different way.
Yeah, he more saw it in a side passage from the sort of main room beyond.
Does it appear to be coming? Does it appear to be coming towards us?
I did not observe that long.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was moving, at least not in a particular direction. It was just sort of hanging in the air.
Yes, the difficult thing about fog is that it's difficult to see it move.
Especially it with just dark vision. It's all black and white.
Yeah. Shall we investigate?
I will
Yes.
collect up whatever rat bits I can and put them in a sack.
Yeah, that's good eating.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaos Venon will move forward and also investigate.
staying up close to the ceiling as much as possible for the next however many remaining 10 minutes.
Right.
That's how long that spell lasts.
Do
So
we
the
get a
room,
new goblin?
yeah, he'll send another goblin with you, who's not going to be out in front this time. Didn't work out for the last guy.
There are things down here.
But the room you're entering into appears as though, so there are a series of like alcoves along the wall. In the alcoves, you can see the bones and particularly skulls of mostly humans, dwarves, and halflings. As near as you can tell, like the human skulls could be elf skulls for all you know.
Are there any particular smells that Teashmanan would notice?
You can tell just from smelling it that these are very old dead bodies. In fact, they almost certainly these alcoves are not big enough that they could have fit like a whole like laid out a whole dead body. Clearly, the skeletons were collected and then just the bones were placed into the alcoves. You imagine there's some religious significance to the bones being here, but it is some kind of repository for the bones of probably faithful Silver Flame people. Pyalius, you've obviously found that there's another sort of worked set of stone rooms further to the south.
Yeah. Just looking, making sure nothing's like walking, or it kind of looks like maybe there's more fog down there.
Are we in fog right now?
No, you're not. There is fog you can see coming from a side passage here, but you don't see any fog in this side passage. You do see the rats that ran away up here milling about on their own.
Where'd Paelius go? Oh, there you
Right
go.
here. I'm up towards the ceiling.
The goblin's just following Lee, using Lee as cover. When you get to about there, Paelius, you do begin to hear something moving and moaning in the back of this little cavern. Sounds like a humanoid, though, like probably a fairly large humanoid, not a goblin.
Hmm. Sneakily peek. Just a big dude.
You see, he looks like he's possibly an ogre or a half ogre because he's pretty big. He's bigger than a human would be.
Hmm.
But he seems to be either injured or ill because he's laying on his back moaning.
I'm just gonna go back. Broom closet. Where shall we go?
We should maybe continue. Can we go this way? See if we can find those papers.
I'll ask the goblin just real fast. What's the deal with the guy back there? Just like pointing towards that little hallway that led to that half ogre,
What guy?
the one in there.
Is there a goblin in there?
Nope. There's somebody.
Who?
That's what I was hoping you would know. But I suppose perhaps he's a surprise to many people.
He's gonna walk around. And he
I-
comes running back and runs past you.
Oh, okay, I'll just go here.
Clearly, he was surprised. Or he was surprised.
What is happening?
Um, well, hopefully nothing. What's that up there? Do you see fog over there? Because it kind of looks like there is some.
You do see some greenish fog, as there is a torch laying here on the ground. So there is light in there.
Is there perhaps blood near that torch, or is this laying on the ground?
It's just laying on the ground. You don't see any blood.
Careful.
When you get to about there, you can see that there is a goblin who actually I haven't marked off as dead, but he's not actually dead. He appears to be just sort of moaning, laying next to this pool of water next to him.
Are you all right?
He does not respond.
Hello.
You see, he's slowly moving, and you hear low moans coming from him, but he just doesn't seem responsive.
Is he behaving the same way as that other guy?
Yeah, it's pretty similar,
I'm like,
except he's much smaller than the other guy.
yeah. Let's.
This one is lame.
I'm not lame. I'm cool.
Well, yeah, that might be.
What is this?
That is a pool of water that appears as though it feeds into this channel. You're not sure what the purpose of it is, though. In the mist, there appears to be some other sort of font that you can see beyond. So it may be some sort of religious thing. The water appears to be quite dirty, possibly just because it's been sitting here for a while with crap falling into it.
Over there. There is a door. Will somebody open it?
Oops, shit. There's one over there too. Is it locked?
I don't know.
I'm looking to the others.
I just go up on my haunches, go.
Do you need to be let out?
This goblin here continues to moan.
Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near that guy.
Actually, I'm gonna go next to this guy and I'm gonna give him a sniff, see if he has any difference to his smell compared to the other goblins.
So give me a perception check. There is something off about his smell. It's almost like his what would be so I'm not sure how to describe it in fantasy terms, but it's almost like he's got like an oil smell to him, like petroleum smell.
This one smells like grease.
Perhaps he was going to be. Perhaps it was going to be lit.
You see his body begins to convulse,
I recommend not standing near it.
and a grayish ooze pops out from his stomach, ripping it open. Roll for initiative.
Isn't that exactly what I got last time? Oof.
So, Paelius, you get to go first as this gray ooze begins to rise up out of the body of the goblin.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be close to that. So I'm just going to pull out my short bow uh, and try and attack it.
Okay. That hits.
Wait. Actually, I guess I get sneak attack on this, right? Because it's right next to Teosh
Right.
for a little bit more. I don't expect
Anything?
it to be very effective considering it's an ooze, but nope. I'll just take a step further back, but that's it. Keeping an eye on this water.
Okay. So let's see. So it is, you see the ooze begins to let out waves of energy that circle around Teosh, and I need Teosh to make me an intelligence save.
Jesus.
You take 13 psychic damage.
Wolf.
And Teash is down.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it's Lee's turn.
You're muted, Peter.
Muted.
Am I?
Yep.
Now you're not.
Oh. Hmm. Does this thing seem to be growing?
No, not necessarily. It was just inside the body of the goblin. It's probably, growing as it was eating his insides.
Okay. Take a step back.
So stepping there, you're stepping into the mist.
Oh, okay, okay,
You're still in the mist.
okay. I was here. I was here. I'll hold my action in case something comes after us, but I'm not going to run over there just yet.
Okay. Teosh, make me a death save.
A level up coming.
Elzen.
Yeah, yeah. Give Mike a taste of his own medicine.
Um, is there is there an actual barrier here?
No, that is a channel in the floor.
Okay. Um, it's gonna Eldritch Blast.
That
14.
hits. Uh, actually, that is enough that it is scattered along this far wall.
All right. And then if Tashanan looks at Elson, he just winks.
Tashbanan is dying.
Uh, that's right. He hobbles over to Tashvanan, not having any skill in medicine, but does his best to try to help him.
Does anybody in the party have a cure wounds?
Uh-uh.
I mean, I don't know if Mbop does.
No.
You can still try to stop him from dying with a medicine check.
No, I mean, I guess I had part of my money I spent buying a couple of potions. So, here, go safely around this puddle, and I will administer a healing potion. Like, how do I do this? How do I give this to you? I'll just try here.
I pull some tiny rat pieces out and stuff it in his mouth too. Kind of close his mouth.
What happened?
You could finally feed someone in the way of your people and just pre-chew the rat pieces and then spit them into Teosh's mouth.
What is what is happening?
What was that thing?
Gross is what it was.
Times your sniffer gets you into trouble.
It smelled greasy. Oh, oh, my head.
I can't tell what the head part, but
Welcome back to the land. Welcome back to the land of the living. We should take it easy. Do maybe consider heading back.
No. No, I am fine. There is no reason to stop now.
he's a trooper, this one.
I
Very
only
well.
do my duty. My moot.
What is this Mahout?
Ma'ut is duty, but it is more than duty. The common tongue, it fails to capture Ma'ut. It is to do what is needed for the community. So long as I am capable, I will do my Ma'ut. And through that, I bring Acha to myself and the community.
Well, that is quite the thing you have going for yourself. Good luck with that.
There is no luck.
Of course.
So that's where we can wrap it up this time in this room. Neither of the doors leading out of here is locked, by the way, so figure out which way you want to go.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks everyone for playing.
Yeah, thanks for running.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thanks for
you.
running.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yep. It's good to get back into it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.